Hi there, this is Ed Herzog, and welcome to 20 Reasons to Buy Elementor Pro. Now I'm going to divide this into two separate videos. So in this first video, I'm going to give you reasons 1 through 10 to buy Elementor Pro. And then the second video, I'm going to give you reasons 11 through 20, plus I'm going to give you 2 bonus reasons to buy Elementor Pro. Now if you do decide to buy Elementor Pro based on this video or any of my other videos, I do appreciate if you buy via my affiliate link, which I'll put in the description of the video. When you buy via my link, I do receive a small commission that does enable me to continue to create free content such as this video and the tutorials that I've been releasing on Elementor on a regular basis. So let's jump in. First reason to buy Elementor Pro is the pop-up builder. Now, I do have a complete separate video in which I go into depth on, give you demos, exactly how to set up everything. Here I'm just going to give you a very brief overview. So first of all, I find the name pop-up builder to be a bit of a misnomer because normally with a pop-up you think like that thing that comes right into the center of your screen. And you can create that with a pop-up builder, but you've got a lot of other options as well. So let's take a look at those real quick. So first of all, you've got a bottom bar. So this is a bar that comes in from the bottom of the screen. Secondly, you've got the classic. Again, this is the classic in the center of the screen pop-up right there. So you've got that option. You can also create a fly-in, which is more of a side thing here. It comes in from the side. It's not a full screen, not a full column, just a small widget sort of thing that comes in on the side. Here you do have full screen. So this is more like a welcome mat. So it takes the full screen, really captures the attention of your visitors. You can do a hello bar. So this is similar to a bottom bar, but it comes in from the top. And you can also do a slide in. So this takes a full column. It slides in from either the right or the left. You can also do something like this. Oops, I already popped that up, sorry. Where you create a button and you click on that and you get the pop-up. There you go. So you've got a lot of different options. And the other great thing about this is you get all the Elementor widgets you can pour into this, all the different features, design features of Elementor. So you can really be creative and create forms, pop-ups, however you want them to look. It doesn't even have to be, it could be an opt-in, it could be something to share your content, something to follow you on social media, whatever you want it to be. You've got all the Elementor widgets, all the Elementor features to create pop-ups, slide-ins, bottom bars, hello bars, welcome mats, etc., whatever you want to do. So that's the first reason to buy Elementor Pro. Second reason is you get access to Pro templates and Pro blocks. So as you know, one way to design with Elementor is to start with a template. Now, I know that's me. It does help me to look at other websites, to look at some of these templates, and then I'll often make a lot of changes and I'll make it my own, but I often need something to start with. And so if you've only got the free version, you do have some templates, but you don't have the full range of them. As you see here, a lot of these are marked Pro. The ones that are marked Pro, you obviously need a Pro subscription to have access to. And the same thing with the blocks. The blocks, of course, are smaller elements. They're not a full page. But again, as you scroll down here, you can see that a lot of these blocks are labeled Pro. So again, you need
Alright guys, sorry for the delay. We actually wait for our guest speakers to join into the session, okay? He's having some problem to join in the session, okay? But he will be there for the next few minutes, okay?
Halo, Assalamualaikum.
Hello, Waalaikumsalam.
Waalaikumsalam.
Okay, Mr. Shahrul. Okay, thank you for joining. Okay, so I believe we can start the session now.
Okay.
All right. Okay.
Siapa buat link banyak ni?
So Firdaus, please mute your mic. All right, so we can start the session now. Okay, Assalamualaikum and good morning to ladies and gentlemen, especially to our honorable speakers that we have right here. Mr. Shahrul Nizam, Datuk Kamaluddin, Managing Director from Aviation. Mr. Amni Akmal, Head of Quality Assurance from DPMAC. Distinguished guests, division lecturers, admin staff, and to all of the students. Okay, so this session is actually being organized by Diploma in Aviation Management in collaboration with Diploma Aircraft Maintenance Engineering and Diploma in Aviation and Tourism students, DIPTAM. Okay, so welcome to our Career Week 2021 with the themes of how aircraft servicing will respond to COVID-19 pandemics and the future of drones in another 10 years. Okay, so it is my pleasure to be the MCs for today's sessions. I am Madam Nazra on behalf of DAM, DFAM, FTA, DNET, and DTAM program. DCAM, I would like to extend a very welcome to all of you guys today. Okay, thank you for joining us for this session. It is our pleasure to have you all in the meeting today. Okay. Now, before we begin our session for today, I would like to provide a quick run-through of our session. We'll begin our session with the speech of guest of honor by Mr. Shahrul Nizam, followed by the key speakers, and we'll proceed the session with the speech from Mr. Amal and the key session. So students, let's hear from the industry experts on servicing industries. Okay, I believe you all gear up for this briefing session for today. Now, before we invite our first speakers from DHANS Aviation, okay, so please welcome Mr. Shahrul Nizam.
Assalamualaikum and good evening to all. So my name is Shahrul Nizam. Can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear. Yes, loud and clear, sir.
Aviation, Aviation Serambat. My position is the owner and the managing director for this company. For location HQ at Sampang and the site office at Bandar Baru Nilai and also at Sepang site, Sepang Aircraft Engineering Hangar, also at Subang. Our nature of business, we did aircraft washing and also aircraft maintenance at the during or for cleaning. We are vendor the Sepang Aviation, the hangar for maintenance aircraft, and for airline for Malindo, for Asia X, for Airways, and so for all those private jet who come into Malaysia. So service, what we provide service normally for aircraft washing exterior and interior. And then we did our business start 2010. So what make interest for this business is because of the company in Asia, no one did this kind of task actually. Basically, the cleaning service is handled by LAE, handled by engineer itself. But because of engineer, they have time to look for it, so we create this kind of job. Of course, our team will be trained by them before to handle all the stuff. Manage the company owned by me itself. So I'm the one-man show, and with my wife, Madam Shah, as a admin, and we have a staff of also to handle this. So currently we have a team from your university or your college with a few of them. One is Arwin. Arwin is our site manager there. So he's the one who in charge for the washing as well. So the rest, what we have now, challenge with the competitor. Now the competitor is not much at all because of course because of the pandemic itself, and then the competitor just one of two company, if I'm not mistaken. We'll still normally with Asia itself, Asia Airbus 320. They mean Malaysia Asia, which is we only cater for Asia X, which is for Airbus 320. I mean international fleet, international white body. Not the issue, the problem right now because of the pandemic since 2020. Of course, we're having loss because of the no aircraft coming since the border also closed. So, but our team is still there. From the numbers, we have 40 teams of us, 40 staff. Now we cut to 15 of them to cater both sides, mean Sepang and Subang. What I know before this, we also have what we call it, part-time workers, a part-time job. I mean, on-job training, OJT, from MIATEC, from MIAT University. So normally for all those college, they just provide training, or they just provide the knowledge on paper only. They not come to the aircraft itself. So we provide them. So we provide. Even though start from cleaning, that you can know all those parts of the aircraft and you can touch it. Because before this, you just go through on the paper on the only, so you're not touched to the ground. So we provide this kind of so all those to the college students. Right? So even though you start from the as a cleaner itself, but our cleaner is trained well by all those. So then part of the aircraft, right? Here is sort of even though the engineer also the sort of engineer to monitor. So we need to create the position for on our side as a leader, as a manager to lead our team. Because normally I took staff before from the scratch. I mean from the zero knowledge, even though they don't have SPM at all or UPS. Because my key point of my company, my key things is either you want it or not. If you want, okay, you can do it. You can learn. I provide the knowledge. I provide the training, even up to the safety training. Besides that, our previous staff also, they want to upgrade their skill. They join the Malindo as a maintenance crew, but the headache is more than our company lah, right? Because you go big, so it's more bigger than that lah, right? So the problem with the pandemic, everybody cut here and there, but we're still there, we're still relevant in market, even though we're having loss. So from the management skill, I need to have another backup from my other company to pump in, because we cannot surrender from this line, because this is a very niche project, very niche work. Nobody knows about it. Aircraft cleaning, right? You know how it goes, how you do it. Even though they're coming for maintenance, also you need to clean very well. Besides that, they have a A check, B check, C check, or D check. So you need to provide extend on the experience, so have a skill to do it. You cannot simply wash the aircraft. They have the right tool. They need to use the right tool, use the right chemical for that. For example, if you want to wash MIDI, you need to approval from Produa. I mean, manufacturer itself need to have approval on what we did for their aircraft. We wash for Boeing 737, must be Boeing approval. We wash for Airbus approval. Not simply the person can do this kind of tasks. So we welcome all the students to join us as a on-job training, as a what we call it, practical student. Okay, at least they can know the environment. They can know the thing is beside they just learn paper on book. I know from my view, there are a lot of aviation school actually. Do you have a plan where you want to go? Because as I know, as I concerned, you don't talk about the airline. You don't just talk about they will recruit back, but in easy way they have their own body. You know, you get what I mean or not? You can simply go in. So if you're willing to start from down, from the beginning, from the cleaner, even though Arwin itself, I appoint him start as a hanger cleaner. Used to deal with broom, you know, with the scrubber machine. That's all. Show your potential first, okay? And I upgrade him step by step. So that kind of person, thanks to the college, give me that kind of stuff to join me, to be with me. So doesn't matter whether you are LAE or LEO or what license you have, but you want to enter the market, it's not easy because they already have their own team. They already have their own sibling, right? Perform, there's a secondary things, right? The join first, and then you show what you can do. And student, please don't demand too much. As long as you get the job first, you show what your capable is. So that's a good for you. Some more because of this COVID-19, everybody lost, everybody jobs. So I mean, don't be choosy. Don't be too choosy, right? Because you have your higher. For me, aviation is very higher level already. It's not by the woman itself. We need the government touch or whatever it is, right? Because we in our own world, we in our own environment. So the rest, what else I need to talk is yeah, normally the student just more on management. Yes, of course, you are the management student for aviation, but what you want to manage? If you don't know from the ground, right? You need to know from the A to Z. Okay, that's what I train for in my company. So the rest, business status and incoming. Yes, I said before, we have been lost since 2020. We still relevant. We cannot simply cut the contract. We cannot simply cut the job because of these 2 years sales down. Even though Aviation now we bargain for 10 to 20 years since we keep support even during this pandemic. The rest, how many staff total? Yeah, I used to have 40 staff or 50 staff. Actually, we not just cater for aviation before. We also cater for terminal cleaning also at KLIA, KLIA2. We have team there also for the terminal cleaning. But since pandemic, and then we totally cut off. We just concentrate on aviation because our major business since 2010 is aviation, not the terminal. But we give a chance to us, the MASB give a chance to us to perform because they know our capability on power handling actually. The rest, operation, this job, in there. And then the other thing is in Malaysia we have a lot of hanger. I mean fifth hanger. That means for Airbus only SAE, Sepang Aircraft Aviation. For Boeing they go for AROC or AAT under MARA. But AAT they have their own student, right? From the MIA, right? KL, I forgot already the college name. They mean for Sapura they didn't do for maintenance, so you need to know where you want to go. For airline it's easy than that. You know, to enter. Either Fly or Manindo or Asia, they have their own crony, they have their own groups. So you need to find a way to start from to start from scratch. Later, during your performance, you can show what you have, what you learned before. You don't demand at the beginning, at the first sight. You not show your color at the first sight. You show what you can do it first. Besides my background, also I'm not in this aviation school. I'm not from the aviation background. I'm I'm a biologist. I'm studying biologist. I'm food nutritionist. Because when I graduated, there's no biologist job in Malaysia, so I joined the construction works. So I get mingle with all those pilot, all those airport things. So I create this job to clean the aircraft, because normally they don't have a vendor. I mean, they have a vendor. The difference is cleaning aircraft. They have a two type. One is for night stop for deep cleaning, and one is for transit cleaning. What you saw when you travel with aircraft, you saw the cleaner inside the aircraft. They want for transit cleaning. We not do that job. We just do for deep cleaning. Totally cleaning means when aircraft come to night stop, aircraft totally stop, we do overall. And the other thing is we do during the maintenance when they come to the hangar. The hangar depend on the check. At the A check, B check, D check. A check for 500 flying hours. Aircraft, if you know, of course you know, the service they come to service first. Same like our car. If 1,000 kilometers, we change the oil, everything, right? Same to the aircraft. They based on the flying hours. 500 hours they come for a check. They just check the wheel well, the part of landing gear. That's all. The major thing is direct or D-check. D-check mean after 2,000 or 3,000 flying hours like that, they're totally naked the aircraft. We need to do the cleaning. Aviation is very safe vehicle, safe transport, as I know from my view. Because of what? Because of every single detail, they have their own engineer to monitor, and they check part by part. There's not simply like our car, one workshop, one point, right? One guy can do all. No such thing. Okay, so from the management, for the management, I mean, you need to know all. You need to know all, not just on the paper. You need to know on the ground also. Okay, so actually this time during the COVID, during the pandemic, is a good time you to join, but you need to sacrifice a little bit on the salary part. On the, yes, of course, you do something because of you want to make a living, right? But it's like buying share. Why we didn't surrender? Because it's like buying share, right? We didn't buy share during the share up, right? The high price. Right? So we suffer for this time. Hopefully soon everything will be going better. Yes, we will go better back, because they not simply cut the AOC. The airline not simply cut the certificate, right? So we grow again. Don't worry about that. Because since 2010 until 2019, we make profit on that. So just 20 and 21 we lost. So we're not crying on this, right? So that's all. If any questions, open for you all. Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Sharinzam, for a very good sharing. Okay, so now I have few questions from the students, so I believe you will be pleased to answer these questions. All right, so just now you mentioned that when the students study aviation management, okay, they don't really have to focus on the aviation management sides only. Okay, so from your perspective in managing director, what do you think is the skills that the student should have whenever they enter the working employment at all, especially in these aviation industries?
First of all, the important thing is, even though as a human, it's a time management. Okay, somehow when you join aviation, you need to make yourself flexible, because as we saw at the road, also at our normal road, like a lorry, they don't want to stop, right? They don't want to stop. They want to make a trip. Always want to make it. Same like aircraft, but they have a time they need to do the maintenance. They have a time they need to do the cleaning. So you need to bet on their time, not on your time. There's nothing to do with 9 to 5 jobs. Okay, unless you, even though the LAE itself, they have the licensed engineer itself, they need to bear with the aircraft time, right? So this is a 24/7 time. Just you need to know how to manage it, because we have the schedule on that. We have the schedule for coming for maintenance, coming for cleaning. We have schedule, so you need to plan. Unless they had a hot job. At a hot job also we know 2 or 3 hours earlier normally, not on the spot. Yeah. So the management is just it's time, only time. So now we don't have beyond the. I mean, right now it's all on your finger, right? I mean, you can use the phone, right? So we know. You just alert from all those notification, because we just communicate on that. It's easy now actually. But the attitude is, for me, just on time, and you want to do or don't want to do. That's all.
Okay, so meaning to say the students, they cannot be choosing the college or the university, right? So,
Yes, correct.
okay, so this kind of attitude is not blacklist. Okay, so how do you think they can overcome this kind of situation?
Normally I didn't overcome. I just give a one shot.
Okay, what's the best advice?
Yeah. Because for me, it's simple. If you can fly, I didn't pay you for walk. I pay you to fly, right? But you show me first. That's my style. Even though on college also, you need to train them to do the single thing, from the small thing, like the time management, the clean thing. That's normal in our life. In our parents also teach the same thing, right? So you need to look on it, especially time and your attire, your attitude. That's all. It is from your personal things, from the itself. Yeah? Education will become better. Everybody can get the knowledge.
Yes. Yes, the most important things. Okay, so students, please hear this. Your attitude is what matters the most. All right. Okay. The next question is it good for the students to join in aviation servicing industries right now, because we know due to this pandemic, the aviation industries is not doing really good.
Yeah, for right now it's good, because as I said before, like you buying share, right? We didn't buy share in the high price and the high volume. But the problem is, do they want to take or not? They want to hire or not? Because right now everybody want to cut the numbers of staff and so on. But if you go for internship, or you just, you will get only token, you will get only allowance, or you get nothing at all. You need to sacrifice on that. You need to manage and plan how you want to make a living. But as long as you put your one leg inside. You get what I mean or not?
Sorry?
You join first. You join first.
Dah.
You not demand and all. You just get the small or token or salary. That's all. From outside, so of course I make profit on that. But right now it's not make profit. But I can cut my costs for the right now. But for good things for you, you get the experience. You get the experience. You get the channel link to enter soon, right? If you from scratch you graduate but you do nothing, and suddenly the market is okay, the aviation is, the border is open, you want to enter, so they will not allow you, because they will focus on their own, their previous staff who already manageable, already have the experience. Yeah. So here you need to plan how to find something to make a living, to make a salary on that, and to enter the market, this aviation industry.
All right. Okay. The next question, sir. Now you mentioned that you had a
DAFM
loss
Pro
between
to have access to
2020
this. So,
for 2
you know,
years
more
already,
templates,
had a
more
loss
blocks,
for your
more
company.
ideas for
So
how to
how
design
do
your
you
web pages.
remain
And the really
sustainable
cool thing is that Elementor has
industries?
now
So
started
what's your
creating
future
full
strategy?
websites for particular niche
Would
businesses.
you mind to share?
They're releasing these
one of
once a
them,
month. So far, they've done a
because
law firm,
course,
portfolio,
everybody also do the
fitness,
same thing.
and
We
digital
cut out
agency. So
manpower,
again, if we come over here to
because
pages,
less
and
aircraft
I'm just going
coming,
to type
less
in
aircraft
law,
because they also not fly at all. So the site is because of
and here you see. So
we
you've got
need to
4,
have
8,
backup strategy,
11
which is
pages.
I
And you
have
can
at the
see,
company.
again, it's all designed, same color
Manufacturing
schemes,
company,
same kind of
we
look
did
and feel. And so, of course, you
organic
can
things, organic
tweak it to
pesticide. Arwin also in charge on that. You see, Arwin has a management on aviation, but when they enter the company, enter my company, you need to know all. You cannot rely on one thing. If one thing die, so nobody can support you, right? So
Yes, true.
you need to know what was the company doing, right? So that means you cannot demand. You know A is do A. In life, you cannot do like that. Okay? If you have a degree or PhD or doctorship on aircraft management, but you don't know the landing gear is, you don't know the wing is, you don't know flaps, you don't know the things because you more on paper, right? You don't know what the chemical they use, what the tool they use. You know nothing actually, right? You just have a piece of paper. You need to go because I have the other student from the other staff internship from college, which is I said I cannot go too far because they just to fulfill their time only. That's all. They mean they can depend on their parents or else that, right? So that's the situation also. That's the reason also. Either they're still under their parents, surveillance, or they can rely on them. That's the challenge. That's one of the challenge also. Okay, that's all.
Okay, so exactly, sir. So students, you need to have multiple skills. Okay, whenever you
Correct, I lost you.
only. All right. Okay. The next question. Okay, the next question. The person works at the site, right? Working at the site. So, do you think women can be fit into this environment, into this kind of environment? Because you know it requires you to work at the site.
Oh, women don't have a problem actually, because they have a women also at site, especially at not normally women for hanger job only, super hanger only, not expecting but actually but only women on management because if exterior is more harder than you wash a building. Even though before, I mean the vendor for KLCC cleaner, KLCC company, they come to wash Malaysia Airline aircraft. Up to 3 days cannot finish it because they don't know the skill. Instead, beside that, they wash the KLCC, but they don't know how to wash the aircraft. 3 days they cannot finish it. Right? So for exterior, it's hard actually, but for hanger during the maintenance can, because during the maintenance everything is on ground, right? Someone inside the hanger, not the sunny, not exposed to the sun. That's the challenge for the women actually. But they have at the AAT Asia Aerotechnic under Mara, so they have women there. Also have SAE also have, but for us we don't have at the site. We just have the office on. The office things like admin, finance, a graphic designer, and they have a woman who asked for one apply job with us, but we don't take it. Some more because of the hostel issue. we provide only. Because we don't make hotel for create a new relation, right?
All right. Okay. Okay. Sir, the next question. Just now you mentioned that your background is in biology and food nutritionist, right? So, what triggers you to create a job industry? What do you think to create a job in aviation? What made you go for aviation industry? Do you see the demands in industries or it?
One thing is because the aircraft, that my first aircraft, and then the other thing is because in this job is very niche project, very niche job. Even nobody know, even know the procurement also don't know about this job. First, because this job is under maintenance. This job is not under procurement. Because this job is supposed to be carried out by once you get the elevator, you don't want to watch the aircraft, right? Same goes to the IR for the civil works. IR is they're not for the name, right? They're not plaster the cement or ice, right? So they need us. I've been Sapura, you know me when I handling golf. I handling golf not KLGCC Kuala Lumpur Club. That's what I'm learning. So at Green, those golfer, you know, the very friendly. So they just ask me, you can watch the aircraft or not. Of course, I study from Chinaman. Chinaman can do everything, right? So I just said yes, I can do it. And behind that, I just study with my friend, all those pilots. I just Google. And I say it's all easy now. You can Google it. You can know everything. So we did the trial when PM Najib become a minister last 10 years back, right? 2000, I forgot already. So that's my so when everybody see can do it, so because the PM they didn't bother to ask, do you have any certificate, this and that. And then from that, I hire this and that, which have the certificate license.
I see. Okay. So being ambitious, right, sir? Okay. So next question. Speaking of aircraft cleanings, okay, how frequent this aircraft should be cleaned? Is it depending on the conditions of the aircraft, or is it depends on the aircraft flying hour?
Depends just to enter for maintenance. For cleaning, actually depends on the type of aircraft. Normally for white Airbus 330, supposed to be every 21 days or once a month they need to wash. And then some more that depends on the condition also, how dirty the aircraft is. Because if you look abroad, if you look overseas, dirty aircraft cannot enter the airport, enter the be fine. They have a fine. Only here can, only Malaysia the can, right? If you clean your aircraft, you can a lot of things. Same goes to our car. Wash our car, so the fuel also cut. Same to the aircraft, they will cut the fuel also, right? Because the tea for the aircraft not same with the tea for the vehicle at the road for like a car or else. The different the tea from the hydraulic things, from the hydraulic oil that spill out from the landing gear, from the wheel well. That's all. Same goes to if the cargo aircraft more hard to wash because cargo they have a big door, big cargo door. When the cargo door open up and down, they will spill out the hydraulic oil. And then when they fly, the hydraulic oil more work out the whole body. And then normally aircraft normally underbelly the worst part. And then during maintenance, the cleaning required because of they want to check. They want to check is it because in the aircraft body, especially the wheel well or underfloor, they put a coating. They put a coating to avoid the corrosion, right? They have a CO chemical corrosion, they call it CC, corrosion protective coating. They put a coating. So when they come for inspection, when they come for maintenance, we need to clean the CPC first in order the LAE, the engineer, to see if the nuts still there, the nut, all those nuts still okay or not. That's why the safest transport in the world, because they're very good to detail. But I don't want to condemn anybody, but look for registration. So 9M for Malaysia, 9B for Singapore, right? It's PK for Indon. I don't want to condemn Indonesia, but everybody know, right? If PK, that means the worst maintenance, right? Because they have a lot of manpower, some more they cannot control. There's a problem. That's why 9V is better. I mean, we look very, very, what do you call it? On it, to detail.
All right. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Sharul Nizam, for your a very clear explanation. Right, students, I would like to open a few questions only. Okay, maybe from some of from the audience. Anyone? Anyone would like to ask Mr. Sharul Nizam the questions before we end our first session? Yeah, sure.
Brief question. So, are you all also involved with disinfection of aircraft during this COVID pandemic?
Yes, we did. We did also. We did the disinfection also. It's a must. It's a must. The other aircraft, same goes to the other vehicle, they need to approved by the manufacturer. I mean, the aircraft from Boeing or from Airbus, simply, and make auto. But we did. We put POS.
All right, so thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, I have another follow-up from that.
Okay.
So, you know, it's like it's more like I would like to see if this is a myth, but it's true that the seat tray is the most how to say, is the most dirtiest part of an area of the aircraft.
What you call it? Seat tray?
The table, the table.
The most dirty, No, it's not dirty because the tray, the meal tray is easy to clean. It's very obvious. The dirtier is under your seat, under your seat tracks. If you take out, if you see during the maintenance, they go for the check. They need to take out all the seat. If all the seat bring down, the area will be empty. So we need to clean inside the seat track also. They have a track. They have a line there. Normally, that's why for commercial aircraft, they're very strict about the give passenger the meal. They control the meal. What kind of meal? What kind of meal they want to give to us? That's why they just give a peanut, right? The thing will not come up the small things. That's why for what we call it, for first class only, they give you the heavy meal, right? Because of the seat, because of the environment, there's difference. Yeah, the rest, the dirty, that's not the dirty part, right? Because we clean every time. Almost they have a transit cleaning, right? Unless the dirty, because of the kids or else, they call it for ad hoc to clean if have a vomit or else. But we seldom to find this kind of issue, especially for Malaysia Airlines. I mean for Malaysia aircraft. Doesn't matter Malindo or Firefly or else. Because we are Malaysian, we know which is
make it look the way you want it to. But again, instead of
cannot.
starting an entire web
Unless
page
you
from
get, sorry to say, unless you get the aircraft from the Africa, from the India itself, it's worse. Not Malaysia, India, India is mandatory India. Same goes to another country lah. I mean the country of they're coming for maintenance. The aircraft is worse.
All right, students, any other questions before we end our first session? Any other questions
Okey,
from the
baiklah,
students?
ramai yang
From the
Alright,
audience?
bertanya kepada saya apakah bezanya
Hello,
Elementor
sir
Pro
Syarul,
dengan
can you hear me?
Elementor biasa. Okey. Jadi
Okay,
bila
sir.
kalau anda menggunakan Elementor Pro
So
biasa,
normally
anda akan
before
dapat, kalau anda
COVID-19, how many
pasal pada bahagian basic ni,
aircraft do
ini
your
yang saya
company
punya lah.
clean?
Saya punya
Or
ni
depends on the
banyak
type?
lah dia punya ni. Okey, kalau yang biasa
How many
punya,
aircraft?
anda
How many
boleh
aircraft?
bermain kat
Depends
pada
on the
bahagian
aircraft
basic.
numbers.
Okey, kat
Like
bahagian
Malindo,
basic yang
they
ni
have
semua
30
anda akan
aircraft,
boleh gunakan
Boeing
untuk
737.
heading.
So we need
Jadi
to
anda
watch
just drag and drop
normally
sahaja.
at the
Ni anda
25
buat
or
heading,
20
drag and drop,
because the rest must
dan anda boleh
next stop
dapat
at another
heading
state,
yang anda nak.
another
Okey,
country,
alright.
or
Itu
they go
untuk
for maintenance. But normally
Elementor
for
yang
Malindo,
basic.
we watch
Okey, and then anda akan dapat yang
25
bahagian
and
general ni
26
pun anda
aircraft.
akan dapat juga. Okey,
For
anda boleh main
Aviation
bahagian general.
before, yeah, per month. Aviation before they have 20 aircraft also. So we watch at the 10 to 15 per month. But for SAE, they check every day they have aircraft. I mean for check. Normally the aircraft not from Malaysia, and from Scoot, from Singapore, from Vietnam, and then India also Indigo. They come to Malaysia because maybe our AE is better here, and the rate also is cheaper. That's the point is. And then
So, okay.
the aviation rule is they have creditors for them actually. They can go to any hangar. So credit in China, they credit in Singapore, they credit in Malaysia. So that's the point is. Same goes to us. Okay. Our children also, one of the challenges is because of the payment. Payment method is normally, if maintenance, they need to wait up. If the aircraft coming for D checks, coming for 3 months or 4 months, we need to service the aircraft. Until the aircraft serviceable, we can pay. That's for maintenance. But for line cleaning means only at the apron, only at the terminal. That one you can charge it monthly. But for during pandemic, pay actually. Just pay, limit the budget. Very limit budget. Aircraft. Okay, during pandemic, like Malindo before 2020, March, was 20 aircraft per month. So, of course, we have 40 manpower to cater, Malindo to cater, Aviation to cater, SAE. We separate by team. But during pandemic, start on March, only 3 or 2 aircraft we watch because the aircraft not flying, right? So how we want to survive with the 40 staff, but only 2 aircraft per month? So from that we need to cut. Okay. Actually during this pandemic is actually when aircraft didn't fly, also we need to watch the aircraft. But because of no movement, the aircraft park also not at the right park, so they cannot move. Some more on their side also they don't have the lack of staff to tow the aircraft. Because on their side, client side, so the staff, so the aircraft cannot move. If you can go inside the terminal, you can go inside the airport, at the KLIA 2, you can see a group of aircraft, all those sleep there. Even though they park on other client bay, their bay. They park on the cargo bay. They park everywhere. Scatter all the inside the terminal, inside the airport. Sorry.
Alright, thank you.
Okay, any other questions from the floor?
Okay, Mr. Sarul, I do have one question.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Okay.
So just now you mentioned that you use various type of chemical for the aircraft cleaning.
Okay.
So my question is, do you need to get an approval from any authority for the chemical that we use aircraft cleaning? That's my question.
Before we purchase the aircraft, we require that thing all. We need to request for the MSDS and the COC. MSDS for the chemical and the COC, the certificate origin. So when the manufacturer date, the expiry date. Besides that, the client also require for that. But we need to submit all those tools, all those chemicals that we use, even for the airline or for the hangar task. We need to submit.
I see. So basically, the ticket
Come together with the chemical. They have a batch number and everything.
Alright, clear, thank you.
Okay, any other questions? Maybe one last questions? Maybe one last questions before we end our first session?
Okay, Mr. Sharul. Right,
Huh?
so I have another question. Okay, during this pandemic, you as the manager, how do you deal with it to sustain your company? How do you find it? Your experience on that?
My experience is very argue with my wife. Always argue with everybody.
Women always right.
I cannot, I cannot simply stop this business, this job. I cannot simply stop, and then I cannot simply sue, give a letter to our client, because who else, right? You want to sue who? You want to sue Malindo? You want to sue Malindo because of the late payment? There's no such thing, right? So we need to sacrifice. We need to find another backup. So luckily, I have another company to back up. From that, we still can survive. And then I have a good team, which is, even though I delay the salary not up to a month, just a few days only, they can accept it. Because our team, not full 26 days, they work. They're on site. No. Normally, a month, only 15 days, 20 days, not up to the 26. So to have good management skill, good communication with our teams, with the teams, right? So you have a lot of standby times, hours. So we need to give and take, right? Someone pandemic, last time on 2020 March, only 3 or 6 days, only 3 to 6 days only they work in a month. We give full salary with the cut off.
Wow.
Why we can still sustain, we still because of we know how to handle the stuff. We know how to handle the stuff. We know how to handle the project. Because same like I said to you, as I said before, like a story, like we know how to talk. All right. So there's a very limit to watch. Some say to the aircraft very limit. We need better. The other we need to. I need to Subang with another airline, with private jet. We said that we've been to Bangla. But you know, because our missions actually, I have a contact with NAS Air, our mission there. At Bangla, all those Malaysian, they have a 3 or 4. That I mean, for the student also, how you want to go there if you don't know from the ground, right? So you need to join from the ground first, and then you can explore more. At Bangla, we have our people. At Indonesia, we have our people. Our people is everywhere. I don't know where they come from actually, but you can find everywhere. At Riyadh itself, it's not just a small level staff, small level workers. All the head of engineer, head of this and that, right? But because of Bangla, now with Bangla Airlines, we just supply a chemical because our manpower over there is too many, and they pay so cheap, only 500 RM. 500 RM, salary 500 only. They still believe that. Alright, so we decide we just train there for a few months, and then we supply chemical. Because one more thing is, if you see from the level of chemical, also the direction or else, you cannot do it. You cannot without the experience. You need to know how to dilution, how to dilute, to know the process. That's our winning point, winning skill. Because I start from the scratch. I use all those chemical in market. You name it, Clorox, Febris. I use it to cut costs. It's not workable.
You didn't match her.
Not workable, not working at all. Because aircraft, they need the right chemical. Even though right chemical also, you need to know the step. You cannot follow the instruction. if you follow the instruction, you fail to do it. Because for aircraft supplier, for the chemical itself, actually aircraft is expensive things, very expensive, right? You need to do very slow, like you wash your what you call it, the classic car, like a private jet.
Elementor Pro,
But for commercial
function dia adalah
aircraft,
dia
we cannot
akan
do that.
bagi kita
Commercial
feature
aircraft,
yang
they have a
lebih.
very
Contohnya
limited
macam
time. They only have 6 hours
kita pergi
ground
satu-satu
time.
macam
During the
post
6
pula
hours to 8 hours, we
di
need to
sini,
wash. So
dia
you need to
akan
know
ada satu
how to
widget
dilute. You need to know how to step.
untuk saya punya post.
If not, you will become like a LCC
Okay.
vendor. For 3
Contohnya
days,
kalau
they cannot
kata
finish it.
dia akan terus muncul macam ni. Dia akan ambil post and then kat sini
Alright,
kita
thank
boleh
you for the answer,
tekan,
Mr.
kita nak
Sharul.
bentuk
So
macam mana.
that I
Yang itu
conclude
tadi bentuk klasik. Yang ni dia bentuk
for students lah, they
macam
need to
block
have
kan, bentuk card.
survival
And
skills
then kita
to survive
ada full content dan sebagainya.
in
Kolom
decision
kita boleh buka.
making.
Ni 3 kolom. Okay.
For students,
Kita boleh buat
they
2
need to
kolom
have a
ataupun
good
kita boleh buat
surviving
1
skills.
kolom. Okay,
No,
right.
correct.
Itu untuk
Because they said up to
tiga.
the end of this
Itu
month
untuk
or October.
edit post. Okay. Next one,
It's not
okay,
easy.
yang tu atas edit post. Widget lain
Easy
untuk
as that.
Elementor Pro
I
adalah
mean, it's very
portfolio.
difficult.
Kita boleh
It
masukkan
will take
portfolio
years
kat sini.
actually to make it stable again.
Okay, portfolio
Yes,
ni adalah anda punya
If it's open, I
kalau
believe
macam ni dia
it
akan
come with
ambil
so much
layout post
regulation,
kita lah.
SOPs
And dia akan dapat macam
like
ni,
that lah.
bentuk macam ni. Dan anda boleh adjust dia
Alright,
punya
thank you, Mr. Sharul.
bentuk dia.
Okay, Mr.
Okay,
Mumi.
right. So,
Okay, thank you, sir.
itu portfolio.
We actually have one
The next
one.
one
Okay, this is the
okay,
last one. Okay, I
adalah
think Syarika Alia,
gallery.
you got
Gallery
question
pun
for
sama
Mr.
juga.
Sharul
Dia
here.
lebih kurang macam portfolio.
Syarika Alia.
Okay. Dia
Yeah.
akan ambil
Okay, hello,
gallery
sir.
ni adalah anda nak
I just
letak gambar
want
apa. Contohnya,
because just now you
anda
said
masuk kat
there are
sini,
25
anda nak
aircraft in
letak
1 month.
gambar-gambar,
So
anda boleh
normally,
letak gambar-gambar.
how
Dia
do you
tu saya nak
need
masukkan
to
gambar kopi ni.
keep
Saya boleh
completing the one
create new
aircraft and
gallery
how
lah.
many aircraft do you need?
Okay. Add
Okay, normally, if
gambar ni,
for
add
Aviation
gallery.
X,
Okay,
Airbus
and then
330, we need
gambar YouTube saya ni
8 to
add
10
gallery.
hours
Okay, jadi
with
contohnya kita
6
dah
to 7
kita dah ni,
staff only.
kita dah nak
But that
video
depend
ni,
on
kita insert gallery.
how dirty the
Okay,
aircraft.
dia ada 3 image yang
Right
akan muncul.
now the aircraft is too dirty because of
Okay.
the aircraft not
Ada akan muncul
flying
macam ni lah.
parking.
Gallery,
If you just
gallery.
parking also
Okay, boleh
the dirty
type
become worse.
multiple ataupun single.
Okay,
Okay, right.
for Boeing
Itu
737,
dia punya
for
beza
Malindo,
yang nombor
normally
3
will
lah.
take
Right.
4 to 5 hours to
Dia
clean
akan
with 6
munculkan kita punya
team
gallery.
also. Even though
Yang
for 5 team
yang
also can finish
keempat,
it.
form.
For ATR
Form,
at Subang,
contohnya kalau anda
normally
nak buat
2 to 3 hours.
form yang
washing.
mudah kan.
But if you
Tapi
go
form,
for cargo
kat sini
aircraft
anda boleh
like
buat form
Raya
kat sini.
Airways or Mars
Contohnya kat
Cargo,
sini anda
is
nak ubah, anda
up
nak
to
tambah
12
lagi
hours to clean up.
form,
Because the dirty is
nama ni, name ni anda boleh tukar.
too worse.
Jadi
Because
ganti
of
nama.
they have a door, cargo door.
Placeholder,
The cargo
masukkan nama
door
anda.
produce the hydraulic spill lot
Masukkan
from that.
nama anda.
It depend on the aircraft.
Okay, kat sini. Dan kat email
But
pun anda
for
boleh
maintenance, it
ubah.
depend on the it depend on the maintenance. What
Email label
maintenance come
yang ni
for A check, B check, C check,
dia
B check.
namakan
A check on street
placeholder lah. Masukkan nama anda ni, anda boleh
because
placeholder ni. Anda boleh edit, anda boleh
500
tambah.
flying hours.
Nak
Come for
tambah
A check,
jenis
normally
macam
we
mana
just
pun, contohnya
coming for check
anda
the
nak buat
landing
tambah
gear,
jenis
wheel
yang
area.
boleh
So we
select.
need to clean this.
Contohnya anda kata
After 3 days, the aircraft and we can start
labelkan
to hang
dia
on. If they check,
delete
normally
salah
minimum 3 months,
satu di bawah.
but they can go years.
Contohnya bila anda
They
kata
can go years.
merah,
Depend on the lessor, depend on the owner also.
biru,
Ah.
hitam. Okay, jadi dah update je.
Okay. Right. So I
Dia
think
akan jadi drop down kat
I
sini.
think that's the
nampak
last
dia drop down
questions.
sini, anda
Okay,
boleh pilih
Mr.
merah, biru
Sharun,
atau hitam
thank
lah.
you so much for your
Okay.
time today.
Ni
It was a
adalah
very
form.
good session and
Okay, dan anda boleh delete
can
lah.
get a lot
Kalau
of
anda tak
benefit
nak,
from your
tak
sharing
nak ni,
just now.
anda delete.
It was a
Dah boleh
very
habis lah.
engaging
Dia sesuai.
discussion. Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay.
So
Okay,
students, let us proceed to our second session with
Okay,
the speech by
the
Mr.
next widget. Yang ni kita
Akmal.
namakan widget
Okay.
adalah
So
login. Contohnya ada
right,
buat
so I can
login.
leave now.
Anda boleh buat simple ni lah.
It's up to you, sir.
Okay,
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much all.
Thank you.
Login.
Okay.
Alright, thank you,
Okay,
Sharul.
so we really appreciate your presence this morning. Okay.
Okay, thank you. Have a good day.
Okay, you too have a good day. Stay safe, sir.
Slide. Okay, anda
Thank
boleh
you,
masukkan
sir.
slide.
Okay.
Contohnya anda nak masukkan slide, drag je masuk ke sini.
Sorry for that, guys.
Okay.
Okay, now
Slide ni anda boleh
can
buat
we
apa-apa.
proceed to our second
Contohnya kat sini,
by Mr. Amin Akmal?
gambar apa anda nak pilih.
Hello?
Hi.
Ni gambar dia.
Hello.
Ni macam slider
Hi,
lah,
Mr.
slider. Gambar ni.
Hi,
Ambil
how
gambar
are
ni.
you doing?
Yeah, I'm
Medium.
fine. Thank you. How are you doing?
Yeah, okay.
Dia
Yes, I'm good. I'm doing good over
ni,
here.
ni slide 1. Slide 1 dia gambar
Oh,
macam
you
ni.
the
Kita boleh
station
adjust lah.
with
Contain
okay, the
kan.
stage
Contain
is
dia
yours.
contain lah. And then kita boleh buat ni.
So I
Yang
will
ni
share
dia
my
akan
slide.
automatic jalan. Kita boleh setkan dia. Ni yang pertama lah. Nak ubah macam ni, contohnya saya buatkan ubah kat sini lah. Apa teks yang kita nak ubah kat sini kan. Kita boleh ubah kat sini.
Okay, for today's topic,
Contain.
which is the topic is the future of growth in 10 years. But before we are going to discuss what will happen in 10 years,
YouTube.
what is actually we are
Kita boleh ubah kat
doing
sini.
right.
Okay. Alright.
So first of all, the definition of drone itself,
kita punya ni
drone
dia akan ada slide ni lah.
as the UAV, unmanned aerial vehicle,
Next one adalah
is a vehicle that can be controlled remotely by using the controller
dia
can
akan jadikan anda punya ni
by
animated.
using the AI.
Contohnya
And also, usually
boleh
drone
buat
are
macam
made from
contohnya kalau anda nak
materials such as plastic,
nak
composite,
buat dia
aluminium.
harga,
And usually we are using the drone for the videography and photography.
Okay,
Table of
animated
content.
ni kita amazing ni tukar
Okay.
RM
Drone industry.
RM59 sahaja.
First, I'll let
Okay.
you to work.
Nanti dia bila orang tengok dia akan ada macam circle ni lah. Okay. Alright. Kita update, dia akan dia ada animated headline. Okay. Nak letak lepas ni pun boleh. Contohnya nak letak harga hanya RM5 sahaja selepas 23 Sept. Contohnya lah. Okay, nanti kan animated. Kalau tak nak animated, anda boleh letak ni circle kan. Anda boleh letak curly. Anda boleh letak underline. Anda boleh letak double. Double, dia buat double. Ke strike through. Anda boleh buat dia animated kat situ. Okay, right. Itu untuk animated. And then price
This one for
list.
the video.
Price list ni apa yang dia buat adalah
Actually, I didn't listen to any sound.
kat sini. Berapa harga ni,
Yes.
berapa harga ni anda boleh edit benda ni. Contohnya item pertama kan. Item ni anda boleh edit. Item
You can see the graphics. Yeah.
contohnya lah air cincau, ais. Saya ambil je lah kan. Okay, yang warna ni pun anda boleh edit juga. Yang ni pun anda boleh edit. Air tambah RM. Jadi RM20. Okay, alright. Dan anda boleh edit untuk itu semua lah. Okay, next one. Widget yang ada adalah price table. Okay, price table ni anda boleh buat macam ni. Price table.
My company is doing. Okay. Before that, I got to introduce myself. My position you see in Diploma Engineering Sistem Berhad is for that by using the drone and also using the thermography method. So first of all, before I start my journey as in my career path, I don't really know what the drone are used for. From my experience, we actually know that drones are usually used for the hobby. We just fly to capture some video. In Malaysia, we have this term what we call a quadruped page, which is the combination of quadruped and lumped. Are using for the racing drone. We play with the friends or anyone. So before I enter my first company, which is the Aerodynamics yang Berhad, I didn't know what actually we are using the drone for. So in my mind that time is usually we are using the drone for the agriculture, which is for the fertilizing. So when I enter my journey as in my career in drone, so there are actually many things we done by using the drone, especially in the inspection area. So this is some of the sector that are using drone in Malaysia, which is like we have TMB, we have Sarawak Energy and also SSB, solar, oil and gas, agriculture, telco and also mapping. This is little bit the
Ini
pitch of
pasal
the
video
every
mudah je.
sector.
Anda boleh edit
So
kat sini, di
before
sini.
what are we using drone for? So when we are handling with the client, so first we have divided into the three parts, which is we have the site team, data analyst, and also client. So basically the site team will capture all the data and will pass to data analyst, will process the data and also do the QABC before we deliver to the client. Okay, before start the operation, okay,
dan sebagainya lah. Kat sini pun anda boleh adjust pricing dia, harga.
it's actually under the aviation industry, but there is only the partial because we are still under the CAM regulation. So when we are going to fly the drone for the operation or inspection, we have actually need the what we call a certification or permit from the NTST. SP is for the TMB, Japan, Jabatan Ukur Tanah. CM, Police and Military is actually according into the needs because sometimes for the example, Sabah have the permission from the CM because we are going to fly the drone near the airport. Police and Military are flying the military camp. And then we have the PPE and we have to check the drone condition, surrounding. During what we are doing actually capture data and then we have to record the total expected asset, data sorting and treatment. So after done the part of the site team, we are going to pass all the data into the to the data analyst by using the cloud. So this is an example of the visual and also the thermal. The data we are using is first we are using the normal camera that we can gather the visual data and also the thermal. Thermal is actually using a special camera, what we call a thermography camera, actually a little bit of positive. And then the data processing, after the data be captured, we have passed to the office team or to the data processor and they will inspect. Because during the inspection, we have to identify what is the problem. For example, for the TMB power line, what is the problem that can we have detect from that? And then data processing. Before this, they actually why we are using the drone, why now we are approaching into the IR 4.0, Industrial Revolution 4.0. So previously, when we want to pass the report into the client, we have to print. So as you see the picture, the report is very thick and need to take two parts. Part 1 and part 2. This is only for the one section. From the tower 1 to the tower 500. So there is a lot. And now because of the technology we have improved, we are using the website which can be accessed by using the desktop at the office using at the mobile. So for the desktop, actually it's for the full experience which we can download the report, we can see the detail, maintenance, all about it into the website. But also we have to mobile because sometimes when after we have inspected the power line, so the client can bring the tablet or iPad to the site so they can have to double check the location and also what is the problem they are going to being inspected. So this is the little bit the regulation that under the CM. So first we cannot fly to the class A, B, C or J space. We cannot fly above the 5 feet because or somewhere else. And then the permit in Malaysia, actually the permit is only restricted to someone who have drone more than 20 kg. Drone is actually a lightweight. The 20 kg drone is actually for the heavy duty, such as the DJI Agras. DJI Agras is for carry the kilogram of the fertilizer. If the drone, the personal drone, we got DJI, maybe air. Actually, we don't have to get the permit yet. And the pilot also, when we fly, we have to keep the visual light outside. We have to see the aircraft
itu sajalah
in
yang
front of our eyes.
ni. Selain tu kalau kata yang pro version,
Drone
dah boleh
in
dapat
Malaysia
template yang pro lah. Buka
is
sini.
what we
Dan
call
semalam
is
dia kata ada
is
template tu,
now
dah boleh dapat template
expanding
yang pro version.
because company, and then the second is by the Malaysia, and the third is the Cyberhawk based in USA. So for the future, in the 10 years, research and development R&D for drone is a crucial part because now what we can have is actually can be improved for the many use of the sector. So as you see, I have divided into the 4 parts, which is the component, AI, sector, and area. So the component AI is actually for the R&D department. Components we have such as we have the battery, motors, and also the frame design. Because okay, as a drone service provider like me, we are actually using the DJI drones because first of the technology, it's easy to fly. Anyone can be fly. So before that, I have the DJI Spark, which costs around 1K and above, below than 2K. So actually, it takes less than 1 day to fly, and I have already tested it. I lent it to my sister, and she also can fly less than 1 hour because the technology it make the user is easily to use the drone because of it. And then in the same time also for the R&D, we actually yes, the drone can be easily be used, but some of the inspection we have to modify it to meet the certain requirement, such as I give you like the example for the Petronas. They are using drone also to fly into the pipeline. So when we are using the normal pipeline, there will be a collision between the propeller and also the pipeline. So what they are doing is that they make a special what we call a prop guard. Prop guard is the propeller, like a frame for the propeller. So it will not the propeller will not directly contact to the any wall or etc. So they have created the propeller guard that is like a shield to the drone itself to meet the requirement for the Petronas. And motor for the payload, they are using the R&D because in the future we are going to do a lot of the drone, and then battery is for the flight time. They want to reduce the transition time because the normal drone what we can have now commercial is can fly up to 30 minutes. Up to 30 minutes in the condition where they have no resistance. So if they have a strong wind or anything, the flight time will be reduced. And then why we want to have a larger capacity, or why we have to have the more flight time, because when we have more flight time, the area can be covered is larger, and also it can reduce the transition time. You don't need to have to change the battery so often. And then for the flight controller, we can have the normal one, which is like we are using the control by using the controller. Because when you buy a cheap drone from 50 ringgit, I have one. That is for the toy. So they have actually don't have the what we call a position lock. Position lock is required the GPS, and also they don't have the altitude lock. When you have this type kind of drone, when you release the toggle on the remote control, the drone will fall down. So with the technology, they have create the flight controller that can be position lock by using the GPS and also the altitude lock, the sensor below the drone. And then the design of the drone, we have we have 4 types of drone, which if we have the helicopter, and so we have the fixed wing, and also we have the because inspection they have required the certain type of the drone itself, the design, such as for the agriculture, then they don't use the the mati rotor, because mati rotor is actually quite slow when compared to fixed wing, because when we are going to agriculture, such as for the Sandabi, they need to cover the large area. So they need to fix wing first because it can achieve the top speed rather than the mati rotor. So that's next is for the AI. Okay. AI is truly something new. Now, not everyone in the drone company service provider are using the AI. Actually, AI that we deprogram that can reduce the human effort, especially when we are doing the same things repeatedly. So we want to save the time, we are using the AI. For we can use it to auto detection. So we just need to go through into the software, and then we have to just do the double checking by using artificial intelligence. So it actually can reduce the human error, and it can save the time and can be done minimum. So this is the sector. So this is the possibly in the next 10 years that can be grown. First of all is the healthcare, safety, delivery, and inspection. Inspection actually what we are using right now. But I will focus more to the improvement. Okay, so for the healthcare. So I've done the R&D in the company in Kajang, which is like I have to design a drone that can, the main purpose is for the hospital or the healthcare, which is like, for example, there is an accident occur anywhere in Malaysia, and then of course we need the safety first kit immediately, because sometimes when the accident scene we have, maybe there is possibility a doctor or someone else, but they don't have maybe the hospital A have low supply of blood type, okay, maybe blood type O, they have low supply blood type O, and then and that time they actually need the blood immediately. So by using the drone, they can ask from the hospital B to deliver the blood by using the drone itself, because it deliver the for more to the fire department, and also or something like that, and also for the safety also they can use for the search and rescue. Previously they have a case that someone lost in jungle somewhere else in Malaysia, in Pahang if not mistaken. They are using the drone and also the thermal technology to detect where is the person. And then the new thing that can possibly is for the firefighter, because in Dubai they actually have what we call the competition of the innovation of the drone itself. So for a firefighter, they have a pipe, the hose of the powder. The fireball is not actually a fire, but it's used for the firefighter. They actually, when the ball is thrown to the high heat of area, which is during the fire occur, the ball will explode the powder and then extinguish the fire. So by using the drone, they can create a launcher, and then if there is a fire happen on the apartment or the condo, they actually can fly and then boom, can shoot the fireball into the apartment, and then the fireball will explode and the powder will extinguish the fire. So for delivery is also something like only in Malaysia but also in Europe, in the US. They have done many research of the delivery, but actually they can't commercialize it. Same to the inspection. Because first, when we are going to commercialize the delivery, we need to first ensure the safety of the drone itself. Because because of the area of coverage when we are using for the currently we cannot fly to the longer time, or we cannot cover a large area because of the flight time. And so when we are carrying something payload, it will also reduce the flight time of the drone itself. So in New Zealand, they have actually made a agreement. They have Zipline have collaborated. They have the visa by using the drone. But now they have not commercialized it. So in the future, for delivery, it is the possibility that will be happen because at Amazon also, Amazon we know the largest e-commerce. They are actually they have planned to make a drone hub. The regulator is at like the CM, but will be more focused on the drone. Going the drone as a delivery option. We have so we can control the drone itself. Training school in Malaysia, we have a training school. Not training school, but the main problem is the training school is not a certified. Because Malaysia is the R&D is compulsory because everything is not is need the R&D because we have to create the new invention or we want to improve the new invention. So I think that's all for me for my slide. So we can proceed to the question and answer.
Mr. Amir Ahmad for a great presentation. Hello, can you
Hello?
guys hear me? No. No.
Yes, very clear, Madam Umi. Very clear.
Hello. Hello, guys.
Yeah. I can.
Okay. All right, sorry for that. Okay, thank you for a very great and relevant presentation. Okay, Mr. Amir Akmal. So I have, right, from the students. So they were asking, let's say, okay, will the be able to replace shipment in terms of small scale air cargo operation?
Small.
Yes, will the drones be able to replace shipment in terms of small scale air cargo operations?
When we are going to the shipment of the cargo, when we talk about the possibility, we restricted to many things, especially itself. The drone for the delivery actually we need a type of drone, but it is possible to have the drone, but it will the drone itself will not be like what we can get from the store, which is the small aircraft that can be held by using the hand. Actually, the drone itself will be a bigger drone. But yes, it's possible, but maybe in the next 20 years.
For the next 20 years, right? Okay. All right. This is the questions I've received from students. I will open the questions to the audience right here.
Mr. Amir, you received question from the students. Question is, last week, Minister of Technology and Innovation, Sri Dr. Adham Baber, launched a drone development zone called as Area 57 at Technology Park, Malaysia. So do you think this development will carry a huge impact on our drone industry, especially in Malaysia?
Okay, thank you for the question. It's an interesting question. Okay, Area 57 is actually will be more focusing on the R&D part, which are the Ministry of Mostly. They have given the area for the companies to make any testing for the drone itself. So because lately, when the Aerodyne, when the drone becomes have received the ranking in the world, as we know, officially the Aerodyne Group, which is the Malaysian company of the drone service provider, actually have the ranking number 1. Just update this morning, and also the Terra Drone also this week, last Tuesday, they have the meeting with the drone companies that are discussing about the Area 57. So Area 57 is an initiative for any companies want to make any improvement or R&D to the drone itself. So maybe in the next few years we can see the many type of.
Yep. So, but we don't have a good drone manufacturing company in our country. So,
Firdaus, you muted yourself.
Sorry.
Yes, please turn on your mic.
Someone mute me. Okay. Sorry, Amir. So, I repeat my question. So, on drone website, we do have the best drone servicing company in the world, which is Aerodyne. But we don't have any good drone manufacturing manufacturing company. So do you think that Malaysia will have their own drone manufacturing company in the future?
Okay, as the drone industry is expanding in Malaysia, it is possible. But actually, when we are making a manufacture, and also they have to divide into the many parts. Okay, the drone from the DJI, we know as already established in the China, but in Malaysia, when we have to commercialize the drone, they can be used for the anyone a lot of time, because first they have to know the business market, and then because as R&D, we actually we are usually buy the stuff from the China, from the Alibaba, Sunday S, because occupied. So in Malaysia, actually in the Penang, actually they have possible big potential, because we have known the in Penang, they have many what we call electronic manufacture. So if the government can expand their interest into the drone, they can make the company that manufacture the component first, and then if everything was okay, inshallah they can use to make the commercial drone for the next
I see.
step.
So how about the drone spare part? Do we have any like manufacturer in our country? Drone spare part?
The spare part in Malaysia, actually we do not have. But actually, we are more yes, we have the company for the R&D, but actually the part itself, actually we buy from the outside, for the China, from the US. In Malaysia, we do not have.
I see. All right, clear, man. So
Right.
the last question from the student is it the drone will be used in airline industry, especially in aircraft maintenance, repair, and overhaul?
Okay. If not mistaken, in US or in UK, they actually using the drone to the to the Airbus. They want to make the inspection drone for the aircraft, but there's
Those,
So
I
Muhammad
believe
Ahmad,
someone was raising hands. Yeah, someone. Amirul, no, no. Sorry, who's this?
okay, Muhammad Uthman, you can switch on your video cam.
Hello, Mr. Amir.
yeah, hello.
Okay, so my name is Muhammad Nukman. I want to ask, since you are working in the drone inspection industry, how was the process of drone inspection? What's going on? Thank you.
Do you mean currently or the general? How we are using the drone for this inspection?
General.
In general. Okay, before we are going to the inspection, first of course we need to approach the client itself, such as we have the TMB, we have SSB, and so we have Petronas and Solar. And before we start, we have to deal with the company first, and then usually we are giving the what we call the free trial. So we have so they have the option to testing out what can we achieve by using the drone. So if the company impressed with the work, they can proceed for the larger scale, such as for the TMB that be covered from the police. Every state has covered. And for the process, first we have the drone pilot. Drone pilot will also deal with the client. They have fly to the inspection area. So they will fly and then they will capture, because usually the drone pilot, okay, the base is in Selangor, but the job is maybe in Perlis. So how they transfer the data is by using the cloud. We are using the cloud, and now we are using the OneDrive. And then after for the next day, they will automatically upload into the drive, and then they will be automatically automatically downloaded to the PC in the office. So for the next day, when the data analyst open up the PC, the data already downloaded, and then the data analyst will be inspected what is the problem. for the visual and also the thermal. After done that, they will have the QAQC. QAQC is basically for the double checking purpose, and also they have to manage the asset. They have to keep track all the asset, and then they will deliver to the client. So that is basically the process.
All right. Okay. Any other questions from the audience?
All right, Mr. Amir, hello.
Hello.
Hello. Okay. So like for the students, okay, maybe some of the students are very new on drones, and even sometimes people have the perception that drone is for that people have money. Okay, so my question here is, how is for the students that didn't have the money to buy a drone, but he or she are very interested in drone, how can they the right path for them to enter the drone industry? What can they do?
Okay, for enter the drone industry, actually, me myself, I have no experience in the drone, and but because I have the I have bachelor in engineering, so actually that is not the main thing. If you want to what we call to buy drone, actually they have many options. We have starting from the 50 ringgit, that is for the hobby, and then we have the medium, the like 500 which is like the DJI Tello. The DJI Tello is actually a good drone for the education purpose because the DJI Tello EDU, we can get around 450. Actually, we can program it, so it will be more interactive. So, and then if you have the more budget, you can proceed to the maybe to the DJI Mini. So it will be costly like 1,000 ringgit. But actually, if you want to just to fly, you can get the cheap option. But the feature maybe is not as good as the commercial, such as for the DJI. But if you're interested, you can start with the DJI Tello. DJI Tello for the cheaper, you can get like for the 300. So okay, for someone that want to enter the career, how to enter the career as the drone industry. So if you want to be a drone pilot, it is what we call added value if you have the more flight time. So because of DJI is the drone manufacturer, they actually can record every time you fly. They will record. So if you can get more than 10 hours of flight, it will make you easier to fly as the drone pilot.
Alright, so basically that a single person, he or she need to have like around 10 hours of flight hours.
Actually,
Flight hours.
you just have to know how to fly. That's all.
Basically,
because when you have the longer flight time, so macam the what we call the HR maybe can consider more when you have the more flight time.
Alright. So my next question is, okay, sometimes in the neighborhood area, we can see that people flying drones. Okay, I believe for photography, we have the ethics when we do in the photography business, right? Like we ask permission before we snap a picture. So for drone, how can we aware or we can spread the word to people that even we are playing drone, we have ethics on playing drone, like based on the rules, or you cannot fly the drone in your neighborhood. What do you say about that?
Okay, this is very common because my sister also have asked me about the flying drone in the neighborhood, because actually you cannot fly the drone in the private area, which is like the neighborhood, the resident, whether the terrace, and then we have what we call the no fly zone. No fly zone in Malaysia Malaysia, we have like Putrajaya because of the government place, and then now we can fly in the
Army camp.
Kemira Highland because if the drone crash, that will damage the crops. And actually, the most I've seen that people like to fly at the KLCC. Actually, it is prohibited to fly above the KLCC because in Malaysia the regulation is not very strict. But we have to know how to fly away. Actually, before the fly, we Google. When we Google the regulation, they have a separate regulation that is such as like you cannot fly at the place more than 100 people. You in the house of the private residence, and then this is what we call more to the self initiative. You fly.
So
But
where can we find the rules and regulation?
regulation,
What keyword that we can type on Google to find that information?
just type in Malaysia. Actually, if you search on the MCAR by the CM, actually there is a for the drone itself. But if you want the summarize, you can search on the Google about the rules and regulation drone in Malaysia. You can get the summarize from the MCAR.
Alright. Okay, thank you, Mr. Amir.
Alright, students, any other questions? So if you have any questions, do let me know. Yeah, okay, I believe Muhammad Farhan, would you like to ask questions? So you may switch.
Yes.
So go ahead. What's your questions?
Assalamualaikum to
Salam.
Amir.
Salam.
So I would like to if we are flying an aircraft, so we need the unless flying the aircraft such as PPL, CPL. So we need a license for flying a drone and specific requirement for the flying the drone.
In Malaysia, actually we do not need a permit to fly drone. The very simple answer, we don't have to license for the flying the drone. But we do need the permit. The permit is for the work usage. And also for the drone more than 20 kilogram, we do permit. Actually, now we don't need a license.
Excuse me, sir. I'll follow up the license. Could there be a possibility where you need to get a license to fly a drone, if the security measures regarding drones is increased?
Because this is what I explained just now is for situation in Malaysia, but actually they for drone ASA, it is the so for the future maybe regulation will have to be strict more. So everyone need to for now we don't need. If get the license from the Australia, the CASA, actually in Malaysia is not a necessary you can fly if you.
All right, so thank you.
All right. Any guys or from the questions before we end our session?
Memohon kebenaran mahkamah ini untuk petition Ahmad Syazwan bin Abdul Ghani menyarung jurang dengan diri sendiri.
Dipersilakan.
So, Mr. Amir, I think we have come to the end of this session. Alright, okay. Thank you so much for your time to attend this session. Thank you so much for a very good sharing. Okay, indeed,
Terima kasih.
it was a great
Congratulations
insight
and
from
thank
you, as in from the
Miss
industry's
Han.
expert view on this
Petition ke-7
future future.
WA-18-18-10/10/2020 Yurni Aslida binti Agustia.
I think for our today's session. And thank you so much for attending, Mr. Amir, and also to the ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
Thank you so much for your
Dengan izin
active
Ya Arif,
participation
nama saya
throughout
Ayub
this
bin
session.
Yazid,
Okay, with that,
hadir
I would like
bagi
to
pihak
end our
competition
career week
terakhir
of
pada pagi ini Ya Arif,
2021.
Yurni
Thank you,
Aslida
guys.
binti Agustia.
Alright.
Bersama-sama saya
Thank
adalah
you.
rakan-rakan saya yang bijaksana mewakili
Thank
pada
you
badan
again,
berkenaan
Mr.
sebagaimana
Amir.
yang telah diperkenalkan sebelum ini Ya Arif. Ya Arif,
Thank you,
sebelum
Mr. Amir.
saya mengusulkan pendengaran permohonan competition yang memohon untuk diterima masuk sebagai peguam bela dan peguam cara Mahkamah Tinggi Melaya, izinkan saya terlebih dahulu memperkenalkan dan menceritakan sedikit kisah latar belakang competition Ya Arif. Ya Arif, tanggal 12 Mei 1996, lahir seorang bayi perempuan
Alright,
milik
students.
pasangan
So I think
perantau
that's
yang
it for
datang dari
our
jauh dari Indonesia yang ingin
time and
mencuba
also
nasib
the
di tanah
MET
Melayu.
program.
Pasangan tersebut
Okay,
gigih
your
mengharungi
present
cabaran
this
hidup di bumi
morning,
asing untuk
and
membesarkan
again,
bayi perempuan mereka bersama 6
okay,
orang
I
anak-anak
expect
yang lain.
more numbers
Tahun
from you
berganti
guys,
tahun
and please
dan
be
bayi
reminded
perempuan
if you
tersebut
fail
menjadi
to be
kanak-kanak
throughout
berusia
the
8
session,
tahun
again
di
your
mana
attendance
dia
will
mula
not
melihat
be
dunia
zero.
dari sudut yang
Okay,
berbeza.
will be zero for your
Mulai
class
timbul
purposes, because
persoalan
I
di
believe
benak
some of you
kanak-kanak
guys are
itu,
not even here.
mengapakah
Because
terdapat
I did some
layanan
recording
berlainan
just now,
mengikut
and you guys
status
are not even
seseorang?
here. Okay,
Adakah
I'll do the
penindasan yang
check
berlaku
later
adalah
on. Okay,
penindasan yang
for them
munasabah?
students, FTTA
Bukankah
some more,
konsep
and
keadilan
also
itu
for the finance
bermaksud
students.
semua orang
Okay,
harus
alright
dilayan
guys,
sama
thank you so
rata?
much for today.
Demi mencari
Okay,
jawapan
hope
kepada
to see you guys
soalan-soalan
again.
tersebut,
Take
kanak-kanak
care.
itu mengenali
Bye-bye.
satu perkataan yang dipanggil
Thank you, madam.
undang-undang.
You're welcome.
Dia berusaha
Thank you, madam.
merungkai
Thank you,
misteri
madam.
perkataan itu
Thank you,
secara
madam.
paksa melalui terowongan
Alright.
gelap tanpa cahaya selama hampir 10 tahun. Namun dia
Thank you so
tetap
much,
sabar
guys,
Ya Arif.
for
Dan
attending.
hasil
you.
kesabarannya, setelah
Thank
tamat
you,
sijil
madam.
tinggi
Thank you,
pelajaran
sir.
Malaysia, kakinya telah berjaya dijejakkan
Bye,
ke
bye guys.
Fakulti
Thank you
Undang-Undang
today.
Universiti Melaya pada 28 Ogos 2016 dan menghabiskan tempoh masa selama 4 tahun di sana. Tanpa disedari, dia semakin dekat dengan jawapan yang dicari.